yeah, it definitely had a huge impact on me. And I should have read the leaflet. Why do I never read the leaflet? Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about hormonal contraception, why I came off it, what I was on, what's happening now. I came off hormonal contraception about 2 weeks ago, so I'm going to give you like all of the very recent updates on how it's been going, and then I'm going to do an update to this video again in the future, maybe in like 3 months or 6 months or somewhere down the line, and I'm going to add all of these onto a playlist so you can kind of catch up on like female health stuff, I guess. So if you're interested in more videos like this about this topic, then please do subscribe to the channel. If you don't know me, I'm Beth and I do videos about health and fitness. I was on the TV series SS Who Dares Wins. I do CrossFit, I've lost a lot of weight, loads of different things in my life. I've recovered from EDs, and I talk a lot about mental health, so there's loads of different things on my channel, mostly a lot of vlogs lately, but I still want to give you some more of this like informative content, and I think this is quite an interesting topic. So I've been on hormonal contraception probably since I was 15. I went on it when I got into my first relationship, and that was just kind of normal, like doctors just prescribe it like sweets to girls at 15 and especially in the UK anyway. I'm not sure what it's like where you are, but I remember I didn't have many issues with the pill to begin with, or so I thought. I think though a lot of the time when we are like, when we don't really understand our bodies very well, you don't really notice the changes, but I've noticed in recent years when I've become really understanding of my body, like I can really notice when I've eaten something that makes me feel good, or I've eaten something that makes me feel bad, or like I've done something or especially like when I do stuff like drink alcohol, I notice really big differences, and that is why I'm like so hot on cutting stuff out that don't do my body any good, and I'm like super aware of everything that's going on. But I think maybe at 15 I wasn't so aware, and I probably didn't really understand if there were any changes or what that was doing. So yeah, first when I was 15 I was on the pill, and then after that I was on the pill for several years, and then I got the implant put in probably around when I was 21-ish, which is the one in your arm. During that time I gained a lot of weight, but I put a lot of that down to depression and eating disorders and various different things. But part of me, since looking into this, has thought maybe the hormones had some sort of impact on the weight gain, but maybe the moods that caused the weight gain, I don't know, we'll never know. But it did interest me actually looking at the dates and the times and when I had different things put in, taken out, the effect it could have potentially had on me. And since I've looked up all of the side effects, because obviously I didn't read any of the side effects when I had them put in the first place, because we don't. Why don't we do that? We should do that. Yeah, so then I had that taken out just after I got the diagnosis of bipolar, I think, and then I like toyed around with a load of different options. I think I went off contraception for a while, and then I went onto different pills, like the mini pill I tried, and then I also tried the copper coil, and that is honestly, that was the best I'd felt in a long time, because that doesn't have any hormones in it, and it was something suggested to me by my doctors, because obviously I've got bipolar disorder, and having hormones in your system can really affect your mood, and they did say maybe you don't have anything that affects your mood, any hormones. So I thought the copper coil was the way to go. I ended up getting that removed because it made my periods really heavy, and I was like borderline anemic and having to start to take like iron supplements, and it was horrendous. Like I felt great all the other times of the month, but just that one time of the month not great, and it really affected my performance because I really started to feel drained. It wasn't good. So and my periods are quite light anyway, so I felt like it was just not doing me any favors. So I had that taken out, and then as a bit of a knee-jerk reaction, so I came off the copper coil, went onto the pill again for a little bit. That was making me really sick, and then I wasn't on anything at all. I was just going to come off everything because I wasn't in a relationship, and I was like, I don't even want to engage with any of that. So I just came off contraception completely. A while after that I tried the pill again because I thought I'm gonna have to find some sort of solution, and that made me feel really rubbish. And then in January 2020 I had the mirena coil put in because they said to me it's only a really small amount of hormones, it doesn't circulate around your body, so it's not going to have any impact, blah blah blah. Yeah, it definitely had a huge impact on me. And I should have read the leaflet. Why do I never read the leaflet? I'm gonna read the leaflet if I ever have anything put in my body ever again. That is for sure. But anyway, so the reasons why I got it removed in the end, and some of these things I'm going to describe did happen using other forms of hormonal contraceptives, but quite honestly I've only become hyper aware of it recently because I've sort of gone on this journey where the option to come off it completely is there, and I feel comfortable to be able to do that now, and I've started looking into it more deeply. One of the big reasons I'd noticed recently, I know a lot about nutrition, I've lost weight quite a lot, and for some reason this time round I'm doing this cut and I've just found weight loss super hard. I'm doing a calorie deficit, I'm definitely in a deficit, I'm definitely tracking my calories, and the weight is just coming off so slowly. It is coming off, but it's really slow, and I just wasn't feeling like myself. It wasn't feeling right. There was just something not making any sense. And also coupled with, I felt like I've been holding on to a lot of inflammation. Like my legs have felt really swollen and really puffy, and also my arms and like different parts of my body feel like they're retaining a lot of water. Almost like I've got more sort of like cellulite, but it's like it's just like retaining a lot of water that won't go. And also my legs were feeling really sore, and mid last year when we could, I had a sports massage, and they did say that I was like, my lymphatic drainage was not functioning the way it should. So basically the stuff isn't draining out of my system the way it should. It's kind of staying in my muscles, which is making recovery a bit worse. So I started trying stuff like echinacea tea, which helped a little bit, but I still found this whole like inflammation issue. And anyway, that obviously you can get stuff like lymphedema, which is when your legs retain a lot of water and inflammation, and also fat. I did find a few studies that kind of linked inflammation with the mirena coil, which was shocking to me, and also it's on all the leaflets. That is definitely a potential side effect of having the mirena coil. So potentially the fact that weight loss is a bit difficult for me could be something to do with that. I wasn't sure at the time. So my moods have been pretty bad by my standards over the last year. During lockdown they were really bad. I definitely fluctuated a little bit within the range of the bipolar mood scale. I've been in remission for so long, it's not affected me massively, but I did have some really bad crashes and a lot more anxiety and a lot of mental health struggles during the time we're in lockdown. I just put that down to the fact that we're in lockdown, but now I think about it, I had the coil put in January 2020, and maybe it wasn't that, I don't know. But it does say in the leaflet that I should have read that you shouldn't have it put in if you have a history of mood disorders, which I literally have. So I kind of should have listened to the doctors on that one, because they did tell me not to get it. Obviously it was other people that told me I should get it because it's a very small amount of hormones and won't have any effect. But yeah, so mood swings, mood's not improving, feeling a lot more anxiety. This one's mad. So my hair actually over the last 3 months-ish has started to get a bit thin at the top, and I thought I'll show you. Like here, I think it's actually started to improve. I mean, I've got a lot of hair, so you might not be able to tell, but like, I didn't have this before. And then I noticed, like, really look at the front, you can see that it's like a lot thinner there. I'm used to having quite thick hair and quite a lot of hair by like area, and I definitely noticed. Like, I just thought that maybe my hair is getting too long, and so I cut it and like thought that that would help, because I thought it was maybe I was tying it up too much and it was pulling it back. But since looking into maybe the effect of the mirena coil and hormonal contraception in general, hair loss is something that happens. And also apparently it's a sign that your thyroid isn't working properly, which can also contribute to weight gain or finding weight loss difficult. Obviously do all your own research. I've looked up lots of different papers on this. I will link some of them below if I can find them. But basically over the last couple of months I've just been researching a lot, just trying to understand whether it was to do with this or not. My hair was getting thinner, and then my skin was becoming like weirdly textured. Like, I had really bad acne when I was a teenager, and so I've got some scarring around my chin. My skin's been quite good. It definitely was the best it's ever been when I was off hormonal contraceptives completely and on the copper coil, but then obviously we had the other issues. But recently it's weird, it's like it's got like bumpy, just like harder, like my skin just like not as soft as it was, and it's softer now, which I'll get into. But and I found like I was getting a lot more spots around my chin here, which is weird, and like definitely here. Anyway, more spots on my face, which is fine, like I'm not that fussed, but it was noticeable, and I think it was just one of those like little alarm bells that maybe something is going a bit weird in my body, and it's not getting on with me. So I have been feeling really tired for a long time, like I can't keep up the same training volume I used to, and I literally just thought that's because I wasn't fit, and maybe because I was struggling with a little bit of depression, and also because of lockdown. But now we're like coming out of lockdown, I was still feeling the tiredness and just this kind of like this general brain fog. The best way I can describe it is I've been on medication for mental health before, and I obviously am sporadically, but not at the moment, and it feels like that, like there's just like, you feel like dampened, like there's just like a fog, like you almost can't think clearly because there's just like, if you've had brain fog before you'll understand what I'm saying, but I just felt like there was this cloud all the time that just wasn't really moving, and it was just making me really tired. And again, I thought it could be depression. I put it down to so many different things. I was also getting this like, and obviously so the coil is like a T-shaped device that literally sits in your womb, so you're not supposed to feel it, and I didn't feel it, but I had this like abdominal tightness like around my womb, and I've also had quite a lot of issues with like my hip flexors, and I've had back pain, and I didn't realise until I looked it up, but abdominal tightness and back pain is a symptom of having the mirena coil, so that possibly was linked. Yeah. I'll update you on that in a minute because that's changed. Increase in anxiety and migraines. I'd never had migraines before. It wasn't really an issue. I was having a couple of them, and then they started to get really severe to the point where I couldn't see. But I've had not very many. I've had probably about 7 across the last year, and then maybe a couple of headaches that didn't really transition into migraines, but they've definitely been present. And as somebody that never really experienced migraines before having the mirena coil put in, they were there, which I was not happy about, because oh my god, I feel so sorry for anybody that has migraines like a lot, because they are bad. Like those days when I couldn't really see, that was horrendous. I just like lie in a dark room, complete madness. And those are some of the things that I was definitely experiencing when I had the coil. I'm not saying they are 100% linked to having the coil, but I'll be able to update you on whether they've changed or not. They are, every single one of those things that I've just described are on the list of symptoms of having the mirena coil. So I had a fair basis to go off that it could be influencing those things, especially as those things weren't happening before I had it put in. And obviously we had a global pandemic that kind of coincided with it, but I thought, I'm in a position where I can get it removed, I may as well get it removed and see what happens, see if it benefits me in a good way, or if it makes me worse, or if it is something else that I need to sort out. So I got it removed 2 weeks ago. Oh, actually, before I got it removed, I did some polls on Instagram, because I thought, I've got an audience which is quite varied on Instagram. There's a lot of fitness people, there's a lot of crossfitters, and then there's a lot of like people that are into fitness but not like super into CrossFit, so it's quite a broad range. So I put a poll out, and I found it really interesting that there was actually like around about 50-50 people on hormonal contraception and people not on hormonal contraception. Now the people that were on hormonal contraception were in lots of different types, and I think the people off it slightly tipped the scale, which is something that I didn't expect. I actually expected pretty much everybody to be on hormonal contraception, because I think that's just something that we seem to do as females. Yeah, not sure whether that's right. I mean, I obviously support everybody's right to use whatever form of contraceptive they want to, and I'm aware that a lot of people don't have the privilege to be able to have hormonal contraceptions like we do in the UK, but I was surprised because I thought more people would be on it. But anyway, one thing I did also really notice is there's a lot of the people that are crossfitters, high level crossfitters, people that really take their fitness seriously and in a competitive manner, were generally not on any form of hormonal contraception. And I actually got messages from quite a few saying, no, I wouldn't put that in my body, I can't take any chances with anything that could mess up any sort of cycles or any internal processes because I have to perform at my best, which I found really interesting. So yeah, I got it removed a couple of weeks ago, start of Easter it would have been, and it's been a journey already. The first thing I really noticed is that cloud, that kind of brain fog, completely lifted. Like almost within the first 3 days it just vanished, like evaporated. And I feel tired, but I feel tired when I've done stuff. When I've done a lot, I feel tired. I don't feel like I can't think, or that there's something in there just like dampening my thoughts. I feel like now the things that I do, the things that I choose to do in my day and in my life and how I sleep is what affects whether my brain is functioning properly or not. I don't feel like there's this constant fog and this kind of tiredness and just general sort of numbness. I feel like that has completely gone, and in a way I think it's made my moods a bit more all over the place, but like not in a bad way, just like I feel happier in myself. I wonder if you can see a difference in the videos actually, that would be interesting. So I feel like generally more peaceful, less like my brain is running away with its thoughts. I feel a lot less anxious generally. And again, this is only 2 weeks in, but I have noticed that when I have like a fluctuation in mood, it is quite intense. I've had a few over the last couple of weeks and they have been like really intense, but still only for like an hour or so. Yeah, there's been some moments where I was really struggling, but I think we realised quite quickly that it was because I've had the coil removed. And then I started googling, as you do. There's this thing, so if you have, I had the mirena coil removed before the 5-year period, which is supposed to have it in for 5 years. I only had it in for 1 year, and there is a lot of anecdotal evidence that there are people that have had it in for less than the 5 years have something called the mirena crash, where they experience like quite significant mood fluctuations. Sometimes their period doesn't turn up for ages, and they can have lots of different things, like their hair starts falling out, like lots of signs of hormonal imbalances, and their body basically struggling to get hormones back to a normal level, which kind of increases this risk of like dramatic mood swings. So I reckon it might be something to do with that. There is no scientific studies done on the mirena crash, and all the websites say there's no evidence to support this, but there are a lot of people saying that this is something that they have experienced, so it's interesting. And I feel like my body is doing something. It's definitely trying to figure out how to create that hormone that it's been removed. Like my body was being given an artificial hormone and now it has to create it itself, which is super strange. So I definitely felt really weird. So the first day I felt really bad. I had cramps, I had like stomach pain, I had nausea, I was tired and drowsy and even shaky. I was feeling a bit hungover. I felt like my body was trying to like flush out stuff. Honestly, I went to the loo like 20 times in the space of a couple of hours. It was insane. It was like, I mean, again, this is me assuming, but all of that water retention that I'd been holding on to, I felt like it was just getting rid of it. And that's another point. So the first night I had virtually no sleep. Like my body was just going mental at me. It was like, what have you done? Like I couldn't sleep at all. I was fidgeting, like constantly moving about. And again, this is apparently a symptom of the mirena crash. So my recovery was really bad. Those of you that follow me regularly, you'll know that I have a Whoop and it tells me what my recovery is like every day and how I'm recovering from training, and it was horrendous. I had a red day. Obviously I had virtually no sleep, and that's always really bad for my recovery, but I do feel like it was something to do with it. So that was the first day. And then over the first week, so this is quite crazy. I lost 2 kilos already, and I don't feel like it's fat. I feel like it's possibly like that water retention I was talking about, and maybe that inflammation. I feel a lot less inflamed. My legs don't feel swollen anymore. I feel like my training volume has increased dramatically over this last week, and I don't feel like my body's feeling it as much as it has been, which is really interesting. I feel like I'm recovering better already. And I think because I'm recovering better, my training volume is increasing in turn, because I track it using my Whoop, and I can see that green recovery, and I know that means I can go for it. But I also really listen to my body, and I've just been feeling it more. Like, it's been there. I've been more motivated to train because my mindset's generally better. And even though I am having those weird mood fluctuations, like I definitely had one in the gym yesterday where I just felt rubbish at everything and it was all going wrong, but I think that was just another mood fluctuation and maybe things getting on top of me. And I think it's going to take a while for me to sort of adjust to having these hormonal mood fluctuations. So I also felt like my body's just been flushing out quite a lot of stuff, and I don't know how else to describe that other than the fact that I'm quite in tune with my body, and it just seems to be doing that. Like, I'm going to the loo a lot. I feel like I need a lot more water. I feel like maybe my body is like, I'm just recovering better, I'm training harder. I feel like it's just functioning better. I just feel like I'm able to listen to it more, because I've also noticed I've been craving different foods that contain like stuff like magnesium, because I know certain foods promote levels of hormones in your body. So I wonder if I'm now craving stuff that is helping level my hormones out. But I'm definitely craving a lot of different things, and that's really interesting. But I do feel like I'm just able to listen to my body more. So one really big difference is almost the day I got it taken out, I felt this. In fact, the moment I got it taken out, I felt this like release in my womb and also my abdomen, and everything just sort of, it felt like it melted away, like almost like I got a massage, but like from the inside it just kind of let go. And since then I felt like, I remember the first day I was like wiggling my hips around loads, because I felt like something had changed. Like, I felt like it almost felt like there was like a nail like inside somewhere, and it was keeping me really rigid. And now I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like I can move better. People say you can't feel it. I don't think I could feel it, but I think I could feel the effect it was having on the things around it. And I think it was causing that abdominal tightness, because it's gone. And also the back pain has kind of gone, other than stuff that I've had from like postural issues. So I do like a certain stretch like every day to kind of release my QL, and that's also because I had diastasis recti, which is when your abdomen separates, and I've managed to heal that recently. So that has also helped improve my back issues. But I still have to do stretches, but I feel like it's like this very specific central thing, basically mirroring where my womb is. I feel like everything around that has just relaxed, which is nice. Yeah, so I definitely feel better. Other really weird things that I've noticed, so I did notice this before when I had the copper coil, but so my skin is naturally quite oily, but my skin gets really oily and it also smells different. I know that's really strange, but I can't really explain how it smells. Almost like, you know, when you've been out in the sun, kind of like toasty, kind of like burnt. Yeah, it's doing it today. But it only happens every so often. It's almost like, yeah, I really can't describe it, but it's like the oily texture that my skin gets, and it just seems to give off a different smell, which I'm very aware of. It's not a bad smell, but it just smells a bit different, that I'm just not used to. And I think I'm very aware that it must be something to do with my hormones, because it's only ever happened when I have had the copper coil or when I was off hormonal contraceptives before. So it must be something that it was suppressing that's now like coming back. And I've also noticed my skin on my face has cleared up loads. I don't know if you can see, I've still got like a little bit on my chin there, but yeah, generally my skin is a lot better, but it's got a lot worse on my chest. That's interesting, but I'm expecting lots of different things to happen to my skin, to anything that hormones affect during this time anyway. But yeah, that's definitely something I've noticed. But I feel like my hairline, I mean obviously I just showed you it, so I feel like my hair is thickening out again, and I also feel like it's healthier. It just feels, my hair feels healthier, and it feels like it's just got more oils in it. But yeah, I definitely feel like the part of my hair that did feel like it was thinning a bit, it feels like it's coming back again. And it's only been 2 weeks. That's the instant difference. I feel much better in myself. My mental health feels a lot better. I feel like I can train a lot better. And I've just got this like, I just feel peaceful. I just feel generally better in myself. If I say like 80% of the time I feel better, and then 20% of the time I have really weird mood swings, hopefully they will go, because, and I will just clarify, the mood swings that I'm having are not to do with bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder means that you have mood fluctuations that last for a week or longer, and usually that's mania, which is like spending all your money, like going out and partying, like getting really excited, speaking really rapidly, doing all the things to excess. And then depression is obviously the same as what normal depression is. It can be numbness. It's usually numbness for me, feeling really sad, like emotional pain, despair, all those things. And then you can also get mixed episodes where the two come together, and that is a living hell. But though I haven't been experiencing any of those things during this time, it's been more anxiety and like panicky, but only in really short bursts. And bipolar disorder, although it's portrayed on the TV like it happens in short bursts, that is not how it works. It's weeks. So, and I've been experiencing mood fluctuations that have happened in hours. So that's definitely more hormonal than it is to do with that. But yeah, I'm gonna see how it goes. As for contraception, what I'm doing now, honestly we're just using condoms, but I think that's a good decision if you're coming off hormonal contraception, because it can be risky using anything like natural cycles while your body kind of figures out what's going on. But I am doing natural cycles as well. I bought the subscription because I found an offer that got it for like 30 quid for the whole year, so I just bought that straight off the bat. I figured that enables me to be able to track my cycle and track everything. I'm really interested in how my cycle affects my training. I want to learn more about it. So, and I'm reading like lots of different books on, I'll get it. So I'm reading this book by Maisie Hill, and I've actually had this book for years. My old nutritionist recommended it and I took no notice. I bought it and then went back on hormonal contraception, so I didn't really read it, but I'm reading it now and it's really good. Harness your hormones and get your cycle working for you, and it teaches you basically everything about your cycle and how it affects you, which I think is really cool. And then this is my thermometer. So that's my thermometer from Natural Cycles, and you just stick it in your mouth every morning, or there are various other places you can stick it if you want to. But you measure your temperature at the same time every day, and it figures out where you are in your cycle. The theory is that it can figure out when you are ovulating, when you're not ovulating, and when you've got green days, which is essentially when you can have like unprotected sex and not get pregnant. I'm not sure how much I trust that. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried it. The thing is, I know it is apparently 98% effective as long as you are 100% with it, as long as you use it perfectly. It's 93% effective with average use, and 98% is the same as the pill, so that's interesting. But I don't think I'd trust it now, just because I know everything is a bit all over the place. Yeah, maybe somewhere down the line I'll think about it a bit more. It is really interesting as a whole though, especially as it's a way that you can potentially use a certain form of contraception and not have to put any hormones in your body. And it's the only contraceptive app that is approved by the FDA, which is really interesting. So it will be cool to see where that goes and how I get on with that. But yeah, so I will do an update on all of this in a couple of months. I think I'll gauge it on whether I have any significant changes, or if I feel like I've got to a point where everything's settled, then I'll do another video. Failing that, I'll do another video in 6 months. If I feel like I'm still on this weird mood roller coaster, then I will do another video and update you on that. But it will all be in the playlist I'm going to make for this video, and if I find any other topics that kind of come up that are similar, then I will add that to the playlist too. Let me know if there's anything on sort of female health that you want to know about. Along the line, I could do a full video on natural cycles and how I'm getting on with that. I love data and stats and all that kind of thing, so maybe we could compare my like Whoop to my natural cycles and see what's affecting what. That would be fun for me, because I'm a weird data nerd, but that's fine. I hope you found that helpful, and obviously whatever way you want to use contraception, I totally believe that you should do whatever you think is right for you, and this is just my personal experience. But I have found listening to other people's personal experiences has been valuable, because I found things that have happened for them have happened for me, and I've not just listen to what everybody tells you, because it does feel like everyone tells you to go on hormonal contraception and kind of ignore the leaflets, or they at least don't tell you all of the side effects. I feel like we should be told a little bit more about all of the side effects, as they are pretty severe. Like, I mean, the list is too long for me to list, but there's stuff like blood clots and cancer and all those sorts of things on there for the mirena coil especially, and weight gain is obviously one of them, which can affect your health quite dramatically. There's loads of things. I feel like it needs talking about more, so let me know your experiences below as well. If you've got anything to add, I would love to hear it, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, guys.